The fourth thing we relearned when we did an experiment with some people off the street was that we already knew this, was that people can't get their hands on things. We had to, even though it's very inviting to please not touch anything in as much as you can, because it is an artifact. We're trying our very best to preserve it exactly as it was when it was being used in training. So I'm going to demonstrate how to get in here.
Okay.
Basically, you get up here, sit down on your bottom, roll yourself around.
Oh, that sounds good.
And beaver yourself in. There is a chin-up bar.
Okay.
In case you need it. There is a rather unusual thing down here at your feet that kind of makes it a little bit hard to put your feet down immediately.
Okay.
So if you need to use the chin-up bar, fine, but it's not necessary. Okay?
After you, Jimbo.
All right, sir. Very good. Welcome to the mid-deck of the full Fuselage Trainer. This was the primary habitation area when they went to orbit. Usually, with only one exception, the shuttles had a crew of 7.
7. Oh my gosh.
3 were down here, and you took the collapsible seats out. One was here, you can just see the bolt hole.
Right.
One was there, and then the third one was there.
Ah, okay.
Those were immediately stowed as soon as they got to orbit.
So takeoff, they just...
They would be in place. They had a beautiful view of those cabinets. Right
this is what they got to see during launch.
Now, of course, the payload specialist and the mission specialist sat down here. The astronauts didn't. So,
yeah.
But it was still a pretty good ride. The chairs themselves are actually an engineering marvel. Very lightweight, very easily deployed. We got them. We actually have them. We're going to display them in the.
And do they make custom foam for each astronaut? Like no. I know, like in this, was it the Soyuz capsule?
Really
they did that.
Very, very primitive.
Okay.
Like they weren't anything like what you see in the Soyuz. They found out pretty quickly that with minimal, the women, the smaller women in particular, were the ones that were the biggest issue because they were the bars and so forth.
Oh.
Bad place
I see. I see. So, yeah.
But they, of course, as soon as they got to orbit, they took those down and stowed them. This is the primary habitation area of the shuttle. They had to train in here as though they were going to fly. Everything they did in here was as though it was an actual shuttle. This area behind me here, of course, the hatch would have been closed. That airlock would have been stowed away, and so forth. This area was actually full of what you would call sea bags.
Yeah.
From the ceiling.
Wow.
They would put lightweight stuff that they had to take to orbit that didn't really need highly sophisticated stowing. So this would all be full of these big round bags right in this area right here. Originally,
in case you're wondering, that fire sprinkler is not original.
The airlock actually came farther forward. It came out actually almost all the way
really?
here. And then later on, when they got the HAB labs and so forth, they deployed it farther aft.
Oh, okay.
Especially once they got the International Space Station built to the extent where they could dock with it. Think of the shuttle as your body, with your head being the nose, the base of your spine being the docking station. And that's basically where that black panel back there is the middle of the airlock, and they would go up there to dock and get into the International Space Station. A lot of people ask us about sleeping accommodations, even though they did have 2 of these rather collapsible bunks or sleeping bags over here. Truth is, they very rarely ever actually used them. They could Velcro themselves into it, but once they got into orbit, of course, being in a weightless environment, they could basically sleep anywhere they wanted to, just to get out of the way of their fellow astronauts and crew members. So they would use the Velcro tie-downs that you see all over the place. Any flat surface, any recess where they could sleep and be comfortable, because it was really not much of a challenge for them. You'll notice right away a very large and abundant use of Velcro.
Yeah.
The blue Velcro strips, which are all over the place,
wow. Yeah.
was NASA official blue Velcro. And it was used for anything specific to the shuttle itself or the mission. Okay? And we've populated some of them. We actually have all of the appropriate things in our collection, but we've only just put a few of them out here just to give you an idea just how busy this was in here. Each crew member had to know where every single thing was at. They had to know what its function was and how to be able to retrieve it in the dark. Okay?
Oh, wow.
So these things were widely used. And also you'll see yellow Velcro occasionally. Yellow Velcro was used for specific scientific experiments and compact mission equipment that they would take aloft with them sometimes. And then very rarely you'll see white Velcro. White Velcro was personal, for personal items that they would take aloft, but they were allowed to take a few personal item photographs, good luck charms, whatever it happened to be.
Is the lighting in here?
It's almost identical.
This is what they would have been using?
This is exactly. We even though we replaced it with LED lighting to keep the heat down in here, we got the light levels almost exactly right. And also the atmosphere in here is almost identical to what it was when they were training.
But they used an incandescent bulb, is that right? Like, or what did they use? They didn't use LED lighting, did they?
No, on the first few they used incandescent.
Okay.
Then they later on started moving to less heat.
Oh, really?
Emitting, light sources because that was the one concern that they had was it got so warm in here, especially when they were using the treadmill and so forth.
Oh, okay.
First, once they got to orbit, they took their space boots off and stowed them, and they wore the blue jumpsuits that you see all the time. The one concession they made to authenticity was this arm up here. This could be moved back and forth. It actually brought fresh, cool air in from the outside while they were training.
When this is used as a trainer, right.
That was the one concession. All the bins, of course, are appropriate. We're going to eventually have it all fleshed out with the actual placards that were appropriate for each one. Each one was specific, but they were specific to a mission. Some things remained constant, like the pilot's clothing went in here, and his personal effects, things like that. You'll notice a lot of distress to the fronts of some of the bins.
Yeah.
One complaint that the crews had from the very beginning was there was simply not enough place to stow things. So, believe it or not, duct tape was an issue item on every single flight. And that's what you see this distress. This is from the effects of duct tape, where they would stick things to certain surfaces. Even had these little tie downs on the floor, although they're simulated here, where they could stick their feet underneath the little tie down, because once you're in orbit, of course, almost nearly weightless condition, you tend to float off when you're trying to do something.
So do people sleep standing up? Was sleep similar to standing up or laying down, or did they typically?
Well, again, weightless environment, there was no up or down.
Yeah.
So it's basically not the most important thing was getting out of the way.
Yeah.
And finding a place where you could be comfortable. That's where actually the flight deck, and we'll go up there in a few minutes, became important. Is because once they were in orbit, the commander seat and the pilot seats, which are the only two permanent seats on the shuttle, became redundant. There was nothing else to do up there, so they would use those frequently to sleep in.
Oh, I see.
At least one astronaut that we know of used the airlock as a sort of personal NASA frowned, and once they found out about that, they said, we will not do that again, because if there had been an emergency of some kind, we'd have been
stranded out there or whatever.
Jettisoned.
Okay.
One or the other, because there used to actually be on the actual shuttle another space. We actually put plexiglass over it here simply for safety purposes. Another emergency egress area up.
Okay.
If they had to get out of the crew compartment. Of course, immediately deployed the treadmill right into this area right here. Each one had to use the treadmill depending on the length of the mission. The longest missions were 10 days. They would immediately deploy that, and every crew member had to use that. They had very, very little time off. Most of them had to either be working on whatever their particular experiment was, or other duties on the shuttle, cooking meals and so forth. And they all took turns, at least in theory, using the gallon. This is the gallon right here. Probably one of the most expensive pieces of equipment. That's the entire kitchen, and all the potable water came out of there. The truth is that even though each one of them was trained to use it, usually it ended up in one person was the cook. Because they found out that this person did a better job mixing the MREs than anybody else, making them palatable.
They didn't vote them off the island.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. But they also had to practice preparing food. They had to practice disposing food. One of the first things they learned was you didn't want leftovers because you had to do something with them. And the last thing they wanted was particulates floating around in the atmosphere once they're in orbit. So they ate everything. They very, very seldom licked the tin foil off and everything else just to get rid of all the particulates. Of course, an item of consuming interest to almost everybody
Yes, the toilet.
facility.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Male or female, this was the facility, not only where you took care of your bodily functions, but where you also used the little wipes to do your basically your sponge bath. That was the only way to stay clean, and you can imagine with 9 of your closest friends in the space of a walk-in closet for 10 days, they got to be pretty ripe.
So you hold
yeah.
yourself. Hold yourself down.
In fact, when they train, if you ever get a chance to look at the video of the training, on the training there's actually a crosshairs, like a sight, and your plumbing has to be aligned precisely.
Oh my gosh.
And of course the women would just, oh my God. You know? So, but it was very, very essential. Otherwise, the system simply would not work. And again, the last thing you wanted was stuff floating around.
Yes,
so,
right.
They did have a modesty curtain right here that could be deployed. But I've often said that the first victim of the U.S. space program was modesty.
Yeah.
Because they figured out this was more trouble than it was worth. So they basically, in order to use this facility and clean yourself, you basically had to strip down completely, men and women, and so they just got on with it, and did what they had to do.
Yeah.
What are all these little bumpers here? What is all that stuff? It's a place for putting.
Yeah, they could put like their little sponge bath.
Oh, okay. So just little temporary holders to hold.
Place to hold things while
Okay.
they're taking care of business, you know, and doing stuff.
Are they color coded for different?
I think they were. I don't have the
Things or
the
whatever?
actual nature of the color codes, but they could.
It's not enough colors for each crew member or anything
No,
like that. Just
no,
type
there
of
was,
thing.
No, there was no personalized
Yeah,
stuff in here,
okay.
believe me. But of course, the little footrest had to be deployed, and so it was basically a pain in the butt to use. This
But there are
was-
no straps. Like you don't strap yourself in or anything like that.
No,
you
the handles
you
were
just
the
have to
main
hold
thing.
yourself in
That-
place.
You did have to use them,
Yeah,
believe me. Otherwise,
yeah.
you tend to float
Yeah,
off of
right,
there.
right.
This silver thing here was actually added after Columbia. This is nothing more than a standard airline inflatable escape chute.
Oh my
They
gosh.
would throw it up over. They pop this hatch and blow it completely. Throw this up over the side and then deploy. The
So if after a landing they
after
needed
a hard landing or
to
something
get out
like that,
quickly.
in the event that they,
Yeah.
were able to do that. So let me close this.
Okay.
I want to step right back here. Just watch your feet. Now, getting up to the flight deck is a little bit of an exercise. On the actual shuttle, there's no such ladder. Only the Fuselage Trainer had a ladder, as you see it here. On the actual shuttle was simply a single bar with little pads on each side.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Because they only had to do it once.
Once before takeoff,
When
just
they
and
got
then
up
the two
and coming back to
or three or four could go up there. Oh my
four,
gosh, yeah.
The commander, the pilot, and then 2 collapsible seats behind them. I'll show you
Okay.
one of those racks. So this was basically redundant.
With their spacesuits on.
With their spacesuits on. I mean, it looks like a lot of space. Now, getting up here, you'll see right away that the surface of the interior curves outward almost immediately. So going up, you have to start getting
Okay.
your head forward. There is a gold bar on the aft side of the pilot seat. You can use that. There's also a handhold in the deck itself.
Okay.
You can
Oh, yeah, yeah.
once you get up there. Okay. Just the main thing is to watch where your feet at and make sure you got a good
Okay.
handhold. Okay.
Great.
You will need to use your right knee.
Okay.
Get up on the deck, and then when you get up there, come up very slowly.
Okay.
Okay. Very slowly. Well, actually, toward the back side here is good. Welcome to the flight deck. You can see one of the 2 collapsible chairs, one right here, and one here, right behind the pilot and the commander.
And this would have been open
That
on
was
this
open,
on the
yeah,
shuttle.
That was open. And with basically an auxiliary escape area. Or an inter-off. Of course, this wasn't called a ladder; it was called an inter-bay access device. But one of the reasons we like this, and by the way, this is the only place on the planet that you can do this. The actual shuttles that have been retired to various museums have basically been gutted.
Oh, really?
They don't have anything in it. The only exception is.
Oh my gosh.
And why were they gutted?
NASA wanted us to scavenge the equipment
Oh my gosh.
and hopefully use it for other purposes.
Wow.
So they're basically gutted. The reason we like this one is because it's got the original analog configuration of the original shuttles, the way they were first built. And even though most of these are not functional, it's extremely faithful and high fidelity to the original. The only concession we've had to make in here is that the city of Tukwila did require us to put in a fire suppression system and heat sensors, but we used existing holes. We did not drill any new holes. It was very important to us that we maintain the integrity of the artifact. Once they got to orbit, of course, these seats became redundant, and basically, when they wanted to relax or had just a little bit of off-duty time or take photographs, they'd sit in these seats,
Wow.
and just get out of the way.
Okay.
Most of the attention then shifted back this direction. This is the joystick that was used to orient the shuttle itself using the thrusters to the International Space Station. And if you look out here, you can just see the hatch where they would connect with the three triangular devices that would link with and shuttle with the International Space Station. And usually one very highly qualified person would use this and do that docking procedure. It was very, very slow, very painstaking. Had to get it right. So these were used almost entirely for that purpose. Then, of course, the Canadian arm down along your right side, actually the port side of the cargo bay, was controlled by this device.
Oh, it's over there. Okay.
With these two cameras. There were 4 cameras, one on either extremity of the aft end of the cargo bay, and then 2 on the forward end of the cargo bay, so that the person who was manipulating the Canadian arm could see where the load was going. Most of the loads had an actual inertial upper stage, IUS, identical to the one you see there. That's a Boeing-built piece of equipment. Think of that as a space tugboat. Basically, they were used to deploy the loads once the Canadian arm got it clear of the cargo bay itself, and they would basically then project the load, whether it was a satellite or whatever, into orbit, in the appropriate orbit.
Because a typical shuttle orbit is, what, 200 miles? Or how?
Well,
do you remember how
one
high it is?
astronaut told me there's no such thing as a typical orbit.
Okay.
Once they got the International Space Station built, of course, then there was a typical orbit.
Okay.
But it really varied depending on the necessity of the load. If it was one of the Corona...
a spy satellite.
Satellites, it would go to a certain higher orbit.
Okay.
So he said there was no such thing as a typical, but only once they got the ISS built, then there was obviously a destination. Right. That they would be going to.
But that could bring something to like geosynchronous orbit or something like that, much higher.
Quite. I think some of them went out to the L4 and L6 positions. And
oh wow!
So,
wow.
I think so. So the most important training feature of the full fuselage trainer was the emergency egress. This is the hatch that was used. Now remember, they're in their full pressure suits with their helmets, going through this hatch, using the rope that was designated for them in these pouches to then rappel down over the right-hand side or the starboard side, and you can see the distress on the right-hand side of the actual trainer on the outside.
Oh yes, right.
Where they rappelled. They had to qualify to do that in order to fly. In fact, they had to qualify on everything that they trained on in this device.
So they had to pull themselves out through that hole. Just using your arm strength and getting,
it was very challenging.
Wow.
Very, very challenging. Men and women, and they had to be able to do it. Senator John Glenn, the oldest astronaut to ever go back to orbit, had it the devil's time. Process.
Wow.
He would get into what they called eventually the Glenn twirl. He would be spinning uncontrollably going down over the starboard side. He had to be able to arrest that spin. And he did it over and over and over.
Oh my gosh!
Until he finally got it.
And how old was he when he trained? Was he?
82,
Oh my gosh!
Like so it just proves that it can be done.
Wow.
And so, but anyhow, this is our baby. We're very proud of the fact that we're able to allow access. We want to continue to do so. But as I think you can see, it's limited.
Yeah, very limited.
We have to be able to traverse this ladder. When we first opened, as I said, we had 48 people that we gave a sort of a lottery chance to come in, and we learned a couple of things that we already knew. One was that people can't keep their hands off of things, but we also learned that you have to have a command of the English language. You have to be able to avoid having any sense of claustrophobia, you have to be able to negotiate this ladder.
Yeah.
This is the most important thing.
Right,
This one
right.
scares me to death. We had one fellow that went down really
Oh.
hard. He missed his set and he went down
Ooh,
really hard.
ooh.
Scared the
Yeah,
life out of me.
yeah.
So we did have the first responders from City of Tequila come up here and do special emergency egress training. Because, one of the things we live in fear is of an older person getting out here and having
Oh, and then
electric
getting
fence. There's only one
stuck
way
up
out.
there, right?
That's
Yeah,
it,
right.
there. And so they made a film and trained specifically for this eventuality. A lot of people ask to get into the seats, and we don't allow it. Because we actually had one lady that tried it and got up on the plastic glass and cracked the plastic glass immediately. And I said, that, if that plastic had been there, we could have done to our console.
Yeah.
So it's really difficult to get into. You got to be an acrobat to get in there.
So the 3 seats there were two seats up here.
Yeah, one,
Okay.
You can see the little tie downs.
Okay.
These actually were in place on all of them originally, but they were nothing but trip hazards. So
Yeah.
we put these 2 here just so people can see what they
Okay.
look like.
Okay.
2 here, 2, and then the 3 downstairs for a total of 7. One mission did have 8. They added an additional seat now. So
Oh, wow.
shuttle,
Oh, my gosh.
A total of 8. So
Okay.
most of them had 7. Some of them had fewer crews than that, fewer crew members.
So presumably most of the crew, like much would prefer to be up here than down there during a flight. Is that?
Well, yeah, because you could see out.
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
see
check the
out, and
pictures,
it's just
but
like
the fact is they have very little.
They were just
off-duty
really
time.
busy,
Very,
yeah.
very little off-duty time. They were almost always busy, and then they'd have their sleep periods. They had to go to. They could not opt out.
Okay.
They
Okay.
could not opt out of the treadmill. They had to do
Okay.
those things.
Yeah. Mission Control is going to be on their
Yeah,
case
so,
about it.
But they would usually use these 2 seats to relax.
Right. And this would have been pointed toward the Earth then, typically. Is that right? Or it's like
Well,
when they had?
Again, you're basically joining the ISS.
Oh, when they're on
at the
ISS,
spine,
right?
So
Oh.
it was basically vertical. Depending on the orientation of
okay.
the space shuttle, or of the International Space
okay.
Station, depending on it was
So like
basically
nose
vertical.
down toward the Earth, or
It would depend on how how the ISS was positioned relative to the sun and so forth.
okay. Okay.
So it varied from. You'll see a lot of pictures of it, basically with the ISS here and the shuttle pointed up, what looks to be up.
Oh, okay.
But sometimes it would
Interesting.
actually be down.
Okay. Okay.
So just the human anatomy in a weightless environment, what I mean, obviously we use gravity to get our blood down to our feet. How
Sure.
is it? Just they just adapt? Is that something, or how do you train for that?
Pre-mission physical training, they would spend a lot of time in the neutral buoyancy facility, NBL, down in Houston, to try to get the sense of the fact that you had to do movements with your bowels and other things that you wouldn't normally do in order to make things happen.
Yeah.
And they told them, hey, we can't show you how to do it. You're going to have to figure it out.
Yeah.
But you have to know how to do this in order to function up there, because otherwise the last thing you want is to get constipated for 10 days and not take care of your elimination processes.
Do you mind if we stop? I need to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah. And God help you if you had claustrophobia or got air sick or motion sickness, because there was no way out. You had to be able to deal with it. And some did. Some of them did. Have motion sickness.
I heard motion sickness was very common. I thought like a pretty high percentage of people would get motion sick.
Rebelled against
Yeah.
in your inner ear and all those
Like
things.
the first 24 hours, some of them you
Some
just
of them
like
got
checked
over it,
out.
but it's just like going to sea. You think you got sea legs, and you get up there and you find out, oh my God. And the worst thing was that a lot of them would find, especially was watching the Earth.
Oh, really?
You know,
Oh,
they'd
funny.
look up and almost immediately they would fall back into that momentary
Yeah.
disorientation. The movement is what did it. So. Now getting down here is you basically have to sit down here
Yeah, because you've got
on
to.
this lip
Okay.
with your shoulder up against here.
All right.
And then the most important thing is find your footing with your right foot first.
And grab that bar.
And then swing around like that
All right.
to the next step. Okay. And
Okay.
then watching your head behind you here.
I'm just gonna stay up here, Jim. I'll see you later.
Okay.
And Wash your hands, Wolves.
Mike's an athlete.
Yeah. All right. There you go.
Awesome.
Any questions I can help you with?
No, that's very cool.
I think you know this is the only place on the planet you can do this.
Yeah. So if they were going on a spacewalk, say, from here, then they would get all suited up in here, and then whoever was going out would then transition in through here,
The controls were
and then they'd close this hatch.
Yeah, the controls were pretty simple, really. And they'd get in, you could see some of the buttons there on the right, on your right.
Oh, on the inside, yeah, right.
And they'd get in there, and then they'd close the hatch. Then they'd get in there, some more controls inside there, and then depending on whether they were going back into the cargo bay or up out, they would.
But to me, like, it looks like there's 3 separate sections here.
Well, originally this airlock came into about here.
Ah.
And it was very truncated. It only went back to that second circle.
Okay,
Right there,
okay.
When you say it came back, did it take up?
They lost all this
Space?
space in here.
And the hatch actually fell down back here.
Oh my gosh.
So it was really even
Really?
closer.
Okay.
Because they hadn't built the International Space Station.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
didn't need the airlock. There was no place to go.
Sure.
Right,
So they-
unless you do a spacewalk or something like that, or but that exterior one has a coupling on it, so then they can go into the space station.
Yeah,
So this is how you would get in and out of the space station. You'd go out here.
Right. Yeah,
There's a.
yeah.
If we go into the bay on the other side, you'll be able to see
Yeah.
what that looks like on the other side.
Cool.
Awesome.
Cool.
Any flat surface, any recess where they could sleep and be comfortable, because it was really not much of a challenge for them. You'll notice right away a very large and abundant use of Velcro.
Yeah.
The blue Velcro strips, which are all over the place,
Wow, yeah.
was NASA official blue Velcro.
Uh-huh.
And it was used for anything specific to the shuttle itself or the mission. Okay? And we've populated some of them. We actually have all of the appropriate things in our collection, but we've only just put a few of them out here just to give you an idea just how busy this
Oh my
was
gosh.
in here. Each crew member had to know where every single thing was at. They had to know what its function was and how to be able to retrieve it in the dark. Okay?
Oh wow.
So these
Oh my
things
gosh.
were widely used. And also you'll see yellow Velcro occasionally. Yellow Velcro was used for specific scientific experiments and compact missions.
And that
Original
fire
shuttles,
sprinkler is not original.
The airlock actually came farther forward. It came out almost all the
Oh,
way out
really?
here. And then later on, when they got the HAB labs and so forth, they deployed it farther aft.
Oh, okay.
Especially once they got the International Space Station built to the extent where they could dock with it. Think of the shuttle as your body, with your head being the nose, the base of your spine being the docking station. And that's basically where that black panel back there is the middle of the airlock, and they would go up
Ah.
there
Okay.
to dock and get into the International Space Station. A lot of people ask us about sleeping accommodations, even though they did have 2 of these rather collapsible bunks or
Yeah.
sleeping bags over here. Truth is, they very rarely ever actually used them. They could Velcro themselves into it, but once they got into orbit, of course, being in a weightless environment, they could basically sleep anywhere they wanted to, just to get out of the way of their fellow astronauts and crew members. So they would use the Velcro tie downs that you see all over the place. All right, sir. Very good. Welcome to the mid-deck of the full fuselage trainer. This was the primary habitation area when they went to orbit. Usually, with only one exception, the shuttles had a crew of 7.
7. Oh my gosh.
3 were down here, and you can took the collapsible seats out. One was here, you can just see the bolt hole.
Right.
One was there, and then the third one was there.
Ah, okay.
Those were immediately stowed as soon as they got to orbit.
So takeoff, they just.
They would be in place.
be in-
They had a beautiful view of those cabinets right
This is what they got to see
Yeah.
during
Now,
launch.
of course, the payload specialist and the mission specialist sat down here. The astronauts didn't. So,
Yeah.
but it was still a pretty good ride. The chairs themselves are actually an engineering marvel. Very lightweight, very easily deployed. We've got them. We actually have them. We're going to display them in the.
And do they make custom foam for each astronaut? Like I know, like in this, was it the Soyuz capsule
really
they did
actually
that?
Very, very primitive.
Okay.
Like they weren't anything like what you see in the Soyuz. They found out pretty quickly that with minimal, the women, the smaller women in particular, were the ones that were the biggest issue because they were the bars and so forth.
Oh.
A bad place
Oh, I
on
see. I see.
So,
Yeah.
But they, of course, as soon as they got to orbit, they took those down and stowed them. This is the primary habitation area of the shuttle. They had to train in here as though they were going to fly. Everything they did in here was as though it was an actual shuttle. This area behind me here, of course, the hatch would have been closed. That airlock would have been stowed away, and so forth. This area was actually full of what you would call sea bags.
Yeah.
From the ceiling.
Wow.
They would put lightweight stuff that they had to take to orbit. They didn't really need highly sophisticated stowing. So this would all be full of these big round bags right in this area right here. Originally,
In case you're wondering.
the fourth thing we relearned when we did an experiment with some people off the street was that we already knew this, was that people can't keep their hands on things. We had to, even though it's very inviting to please not touch anything in as much as you can, because it is an artifact, we're trying our very best to preserve it exactly as it was when it was being used in training. So I'm going to demonstrate how to get in here.
Okay.
Basically, you get up here, sit down at the bottom, roll yourself around.
Oh, that sounds good.
To beaver yourself in. There is a chin-up bar.
Okay.
In case you need it. There is a rather unusual thing down here at your feet that kind of makes it a little bit hard to put your feet down immediately.
Okay.
So if you need to use the chin-up bar, fine, but it's not necessary. Okay?
Okay.
After you, Jimbo.